In this video, I get pushed off into a dangerous barrier in Daily Race A. Daily Race B, I get pushed into another car at Fuji. And in Daily Race C, I don't get pushed into someone, but I do steal 2 spots. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025, week 34. And I would say a positive move because it's a lot better than last week's races. First up in the background, we're in that Ford Focus right there, and we're at Lago Maggiore Centre in reverse. We're doing 7 laps here, weak slipstream. It's the grid start with the false start check on sports medium tyres. It is the Ford Focus ST with BOP on, and DR updates are off. Weirdly, they were on for the go-karts with absolute carnage, but off for this one. I have no idea. I don't understand logic anymore with the daily races, but hey, here we are doing them every single week, and I do enjoy doing them every single week in terms of these races as well. Now, if you do not enjoy Daily Race A, there are some timestamps there to jump to Daily Race B or Race C respectively if you prefer some race cars rather than driving a Ford Focus ST and thinking it's a touring car. Well, with this track and the key statistics, we've only been here twice before. It's 62nd most used track, so obviously there's a lot of 2s in there. We last used this track on the 5th of June 2023, and the only issue I can find are deadly walls. Arguably, you could say the sausages as well, but this track very much reminds me of Not Kill. BTCC was there this weekend, and we're in the Focus ST, and there are focuses in the BTCC, so it all feels very much based around that, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm really clutching at straws there. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into this race, and let's have a look exactly how much touring car action we do experience. Right, who is on the grid then? We've got Sparks on pole, Kiwi in P2, Hoggy in P12, Max Power P11. We're starting P10, so I'm holding that handbrake. Foot to the floor, traction control on one here as well due to the front wheel drive nature of this car. As we get ready, we release the handbrake and off we go. Look at traction control really working well there. Up to second gear, turn it off, get that radar on, and let's have some fun here in this Focus ST as we head towards turn 1. I love this circuit. It's one of my favorite short circuits in the game. It really is fun. So as we come into here then, we're going to be, 2 wide at the moment. We've got somebody trying to go around the outside. Who is that? They're in a BTCC livery. Up ahead, we've got Sonic in a BTCC livery as well. I think that's the old Ford Mondeo livery. I'm not too sure there. But we leave here in last. We started P10 and we're in last right now, but it's all good fun here. We're only 2 seconds off the lead here as we go through this left and the right kink right now. Just be careful that sausage. Charlie gets it a bit wrong there, nearly into the back of Huggy. As we go into this braking zone, I sort of back out of this. Expect everyone to run deep here. Max Power clips the sausage. Loads people towards the right hand side. Look at this. We've gone from P last to P8. What a move and a half this is. Up to P7 in fact. As we go through this right-hander, we've got Huggy on our inside as we go through there. We get the slices and nudges, and we go into the deadly barrier there on the left-hand side. Huggy immediately wakes up. I appreciate that, Huggy. That was a clear mistake. It was very obvious there from the get-go. There's so many cars there, and the understeer this car generates. Now up ahead, we've got Max Power off the circuit in that livery there, the shredded wheat livery, as we go through this left-hander and then into this right, trying to get a run through the corner. Look how much I cut of it there. Now, Max Power, of course, got dirt on her tyres. Sonic's had a bit of a death then with that barrier. One of the deadliest corners, I would say, actually, in terms of Gran Turismo tracks. Jump to lap number 5 then. We've caught back up to Sonic as we head up towards turn number 1. Hard on the brakes. We go looking down that inside. We've got the finish driver, Peru's up ahead. We get on the inside of Sonic though. Give them a bit of space there on the exit. TCR versus TCR. Here we go. We don't just do teammate work. We do some decent racing here as well. As we head down towards the kink once again. Ugandan there with a small penalty as we go in towards the left. I think Sonic's just giving that one up a little bit. So we do go up into P8 here. As we head towards this fast left-hander. You do get all sorts of oversteer going into this corner, which is actually really fun oversteer, by the way. It's not like uncontrollable. It's very much controllable. Hard on the brakes we go then into the hairpin then. The left-hander here at Lago Maggiore Centre reverse. Then in towards the right. The finish driver's taking a very compromised line here. I saw that. Saw Ugandan was wanting to get on the inside. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go on the outside. We get 1 position. We're actually going to get 2 here from the finish drivers. They're on the right-hand side. I'm on the left. Maybe they didn't even see me here as we head towards turn number 1. There we go. Up into P6 we go. Hard on the brakes as we slow this car down. Side-by-side action here. Ugandan gives us a bit of a boost there through the corner, and that is actually going to get us into that P6. Not sure what happened to the finish drive there on the exit then. We start the final lap. We got Max up ahead, the Spanish driver here, as we head towards turn 1 for the final time here. Lago Maggiore Centre reverse. Hard on the brakes. We get a nice line through there. Max went a bit tight to that corner, and that's the problem with doing that. You lose all the speed on the exit. It's literally a drag race now towards the kink. Very hard to go side by side through the kink then. So I sort of look to back out of this then with a slight lift. See what we can do later on there. I thought I might have cut it. Maybe I didn't. So as we continue on here, because there are track limit penalties on here. Oh, no, I did cut it. I was trying to remember where I did cut. I knew I got a penalty somewhere. There was where I cut. Max, unfortunately, goes a bit too deep there. So we do get that position. However, because it's the final lap, remember, I can't take the track limit penalty. So that 0.5 is going to turn into a 1 second penalty very quickly as we go through here. So we're in P5. Ugandan's very close to me though. So Ugandan is of course going to get this P5 and hopefully there's no one behind him. No, there isn't. So we are going to drop down to P6 there. For me, this is a very fun race. You can have some racing as you saw right there. It's got some deadly corners in there. A little bit of oversteer. Good car control in there. 7 out of 8. This is a banging daily race A in my opinion in terms of a beginner race, road cars. Yeah, works well. Let me show you how to do this lap then. This is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out in the comments, pinned comment down below and description as well. So as we're going towards turn number 1 here, we have the crossover of white lines. This is your brake marker for turn 1. I want you to brake in a straight line as well. Stayed in 4th gear all the way to this point. We're going to drop to 3rd gear for this corner, which may seem like too high of a gear, but don't worry, there's a turbo in there. Will help you get through this corner. So we drop to 3rd gear. As we release the brakes, the car wants to oversteer, which is absolutely fine. You expect that in a front-wheel drive car, and then we accelerate out of the corner. Notice we don't get the wheel spin because we're in 3rd gear. If we're in 2nd, we get wheel spin, then have to change gear. I'm short shifting a little bit at the gear indicator. I feel that's the best place to change. However, if you change short shift a bit more or over rev it, you don't lose that much time, so please don't worry about that too much. We're going to head towards this left-hander, and this is where the oversteer really does happen, okay? So we've got this curb here, which then lines up with the circuit that we're currently on now, the layout we're on right now. So just before we get there, we're going to hit the brakes, okay? You can see I've hit the brakes right now. I'm going to stay in 4th gear for a bit longer here, and then drop to 3rd gear and try and maintain some speed. Watch what I do then. So I'm in 4th gear, down to 3rd gear. I trail brake a little bit, let the car roll through the corner, a bit of oversteer, just tapping the throttle a little bit there. So if you don't know in a front-wheel drive car to catch a slide, turn into it and accelerate. For the next corner then, the hairpin on the left-hand side, we have the orange painted barrier. That is your brake marker here. It's the last part of the orange painted barrier. We're going to brake, and you can drop to 2nd gear if you want, or you can stay in 3rd gear. I'm pretty sure I stay in 3rd gear here. There you go. 3rd gear is absolutely fine because you don't want the wheel spin. We accelerate and we turn into this curb, and we want to cut most of it there. As you can see, we've reduced the angle. We don't get the understeer then. We can accelerate towards the line. Don't change gear this time until the very end of the revs. That will maximize your time. That's a 53.086, and you can follow that one on the leaderboard. There's also a pinned comment there with my actual Delta lap if you want to look at the details of the lap. We've already jumped to daily race B here, where we're at Fuji in Group 4 machinery. We're doing 5 laps with custom slipstream, rolling start, racing medium tyres, which is unusual for Group 4. Tyres well fuel and tyre wear. And of course, you can adjust that brake balance in these Group 4 cars. So I'd say unusual to be on the racing medium tyres here at Fuji in Group 4. We've used this track 16 times. It's one of the most used combos. Now, believe it or not, we've not done the one with a chicane layout in Group 4 at all ever. Last used this track on the 23rd of June 2025. In terms of issues, dives are definitely inevitable here, especially with the grippier tyre. The last sector can still be quite tricky because we have a grippier tyre. The car will feel like it wants to just understeer that little bit more. Let's jump into this race then and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then for the start of the next race. We've got Brisket in pole position. We're starting at P12 then. Yes, we chose the Genesis. It's still a very powerful car here. And if you are enjoying this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. Of course, if you give it a like, it tells me you enjoy this video and I will keep on making them. We're heading towards turn 1, a little bit deep there from myself. Nobody goes completely off here at Fuji. Remember, the rolling start sort of gives that gap there where racing doesn't really happen. Half a lap later, everybody catches up to each other with that custom slipstream. And here we go with the racing right at the chicane, which can be very deadly very quickly. However, we get a bit cheeky. Round the outside of Ugandan Commando we go and up into P11. That is a sneaky old move, and I'll take that as we go into this right-hander. So Shadow's in the Genesis up ahead. I think Huggy's there in the McLaren. We've got Marisonic in a TT. I see the TT being used again. And you can see here, we're going for bump drafting here to maintain some gap there towards the guys up ahead. But they're going 3 wide here, heading in towards turn number 1. Audi on the inside. Huggy backs out. That goes to the cutback on Shadow. Is that going to work? That is the question. Genesis is so strong on an exit. It really is. It just grips and accelerates for days then. As we go into this left-hander, Shadow does maintain position. Huggy does lose out then from all of that. As we go into this right-hander, Huggy's going back at Shadow. Now I'm looking at this going, well, I probably should follow Shadow. I'm in the same car. I've got the same advantage here. So let's see what I do then as we go through here. Nowhere to really go. Hard on the brakes. Can we go around the outside of Huggy? That is the question. We accelerate through here. No, Huggy just gets in the train there. Well played to Huggy with that defensive move. We continue on down here. I nearly cut the circuit there. I did not mean to do that, but it was very close indeed. As we head down towards the chicane then, where's Huggy going to go is the question. Huggy goes towards that inside. I just hit the brakes here. Unfortunately, I just get tapped from behind, which puts me into shadow there. That was just Uganda making a small little error. Apologise for that straight away. I appreciate that, but you don't need to apologise straight away. I can see you've let off. So you can carry on racing. That Shadow didn't lose out here. It's only myself who lost out in the end. However, we're still in a race here, and arguably we didn't lose a position. We're just in a fight for our lives now. Max Power in the Cayman behind them. Sends it down the inside. Is he going to get it stopped? Is the question. I leave some space on that inside for Max Power because he did end up down there. As we continue on towards the final corner, we've got Suzuki Swift up ahead. You don't see that very often as we go into this right-hander, and we're going to just beat it out of here, and we stay ahead of Max Power. So nothing lost there from anybody apart from Ugandan there. But thank you very much for saying sorry, but you didn't have to do that. It's all good. I appreciate the mistake though, and you were doing that all the same. So we're going to head towards turn number 1 then, and oh, who's that getting very close behind me? That looks like Sparks in the flake machine. Huggy's ran wide there actually on the left hand side. I completely missed that as I'm commentating over it here, and we are up into P10. Huggy will fall in behind, maybe going to go for it. Nope, definitely falls in behind then. Too wide through here, never the best idea. Now the Suzuki Swift there was just a bit too slow on the exit. I tried to go on the inside, didn't really work out here, but as we continue on through here, they just over accelerate that little bit too much. Then we get on the inside of the Swift, and we are up into P9. I'm not sure what happened to Never Quit there, but they're not quitting, they're carrying on, and we're up into P8. So we'll take that. Free positions are always very welcome here. However, I do love a good race. Just to clarify, I do love a good race. And we have a good race coming up here. We've got Shadow, Marisonic, and I'm Very Big Boss here as we go into this left-hander on the 3rd lap now then, and head towards the final corner here. So we're going to go for a very wide line now. This is trying to get the maximum speed through this last corner and really get the momentum onto the straight. Shadow got the position there. Well played, Shadow. That's a good move by Shadow there. Now, we're trying to get some momentum on the Audi TT. However, that Audi TT is quick and in the slipstream. So we're going to go for a bit of bump drafting here as we head towards turn number 1 then. So I'm going to go towards that inside. Shall I make it 3 wide? Nah, I'm backing out of that one. They make it 3 wide up ahead pretty much there. Slight bit of contact between those two. Again, nothing major. That's just racing in Group 4 nowadays. You know, when you're 3 wide, small bit of contact will happen. Everyone settled themselves down. No one really lost out there. Good racing. Let's continue on here towards the fast left-hander then. So in we go. A Very Big Boss there on the inside. The TT on the outside. Then they're still racing. Beautiful stuff here as we advance a bit further on in lap number 4. Hard on the brakes right now into the chicane. Oh, who said that? Oh, Huggy sent it a little bit too much there. Just back out of it here. Does apologise there. Lets us go again there. Beautiful sportsmanship. It's what I love to see. It's why TCR exists. Huggy's part of TCR, of course. And you can check out Huggy on YouTube as well as we continue on through here then. Where's our Very Big Boss going? They go towards the outside. Oh, that gap was open. I went for it. Am I going to get it is the question. Leave some space on that exit. There we go. We head towards the final corner then. Are we going to get this position? No, they maintain it then. Beautiful defense there from the Italian driver as we go onto the start-finish straight now then. And what I'm going to do is bump draft here a little bit. There's no point going for the overtake because it's not going to really work out until the end of the straight. However, I became very surprised. That Ferrari very quick in a straight line at the top end. Probably because it's got 7 gears as well. But they defend that beautifully. So my strategy there definitely didn't work out then. So we continue on out of here. The Italian's still ahead of me right now then. And I really have to think about where I'm going to get this position. I won that P7 as much as everybody else behind me. So we're going to go into this left-hander. We saw it down a little bit here. Trying to get on the inside. Not going to work out. They still defend this very nice indeed. They're not folding to the pressure at all as we go through this right-hander. Oh, they're a bit deep this time then. Trying to get on the inside in the Genesis. This is what the Genesis is so good at. I can just turn into corners. It's incredible. We got a bit too deep though into this left-hander. Real bit too deep here. The Italian's got ahead. Huggy very close to me on the left-hand side, but I am in that slipstream train. So this should mean I maintain position. Let's see what happens though then as we head down towards the chicane. Then this is a good overtaking spot as well to be in. So I'm sort of in the middle of the road then. I'm going to send it down the inside then. We need to get it stopped. We do get it stopped there. Happy days indeed. Got leave space on that left-hand side then for the Ferrari. And we are ahead here. We get the place. Maybe more places up ahead are possible. We're going to this right-hander. The Ferrari sent it. A little bit of a tag there. Oh, I don't think that was major because they have left me room then. So that's just a small mistake as we go into this left-hander. Still side-by-side action. Beautiful racing here. And this is the awesome part so far of this week's daily races. Daily race A is still a good side-by-side action. Daily race B, you're seeing good side-by-side action. Let's hope and see what we get for daily race C. Hey, folks. Anyway, we get onto this start-finish straight. We're going to head towards the line. And before we get to daily race C, I need to tell you how to do this lap as well. But even before that, the point scoring system, well, it's about to show up on your screen. And you can see there it's 6.5 out of 8. And all the details of how I score these races are down below. I try and keep bias out of it. Or sometimes I just enjoy a race far too much. Right, okay, let's go into the lap guide then here. So this is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out in the description and the pinned comment down below. +5 brake balance, you can see that on the right-hand side. But on the left-hand side, we have our first brake marker. So to start the grandstands is your very early brake marker in some cars. However, there's a dark grey into light grey that I've highlighted there on the second box. I brake just after that leaves the screen, okay, in this Genesis. I want to stay to the left-hand side as much as possible here, and then only come in when I'm in second gear. So I trail brake in, instantly accelerate in the Genesis because it just turns. It's ridiculous. And then you should be fine to leave that corner. Accelerate, maximize the revs, of course, as well in this car. We're going to head towards this left-hander. And on the left-hand side, the end of the barrier now is your brake marker here. It didn't used to be the case, but because obviously these are slower cars now, the end of the barrier is your brake marker. You can use the billboard as well that says Coca-Cola on it. Lovely drink, especially if it's cherry Coca-Cola. But literally on the left-hand side there was your brake marker. You can see where it is on chase cam. We trail brake a little bit through this corner. Now, I stay in 4th gear. I did try 3rd gear. It kind of works and kind of doesn't. It depends how well you do the corner. So 4th gear is just going to maintain that speed that little bit better. I've highlighted this marker here. It's the first escape road on the right-hand side. This is your lift-off marker. I want you to start lifting off and bouncing the car through this corner. You're going to see how I do it now. It's all to get the car rotated still, okay? So I'm going to lift off a little bit. Lift off, lift off, lift off, lift off. Not fully coming off. And then before that second escape road, I'm accelerating again. Head over towards the right-hand side here. And on the left-hand side, I've hit the pause button here just a bit earlier than normal because I want to highlight the end of the curb there on the left-hand side. As that leaves the screen is when I'm going to brake, okay? Just because my name covers it otherwise, and you can see it more clearly here on chase cam, when that leaves the screen, so we leave the screen and we now hit the brakes, we trail brake in, we clip the curb, we instantly accelerate in second gear up to 3rd gear. The higher revs in this car, when you're in them, it will rotate that car a little bit more. So it's always good to be in the higher revs, but you are looking to rotate it. You just don't want to hit the rev limiter, which is why on the fast left, we did 4th gear, not 3rd gear. Head down towards the chicane. We're being last of the late breakers now. On the right side, we have a yellow Dunlop sign. This is your brake marker, okay? Just before you get to it on the right side. I want you to go all the way down to 1st gear for this one, okay? All the way, straight line braking until you get to the very end of the braking. When you start to release the brakes, then turn in, as we do now. Actually, I turned in a bit earlier there, but even so, we continue on. Lift off a little bit as we go through there. We're in second gear now, and make sure you don't cut that last bit too much. We continue on towards this fast right, okay? We've got the grass going into the AstroTurf on the left-hand side. This is your brake marker. You're not going to go 100% braking here because you're already turning. You're going to trail brake. Watch what I do with the braking as I go through this corner. Of course, I've got the zoomed in bars. So you should be able to see this as I do this now. So notice the trail braking there. Never above 50%. I clip the curb and then accelerate through. I've got a bit on the slippy stuff there. Don't worry too much. It's all-wheel drive, this Genesis. And on the left-hand side, we have the end of this curb. This end of this curb is your trail braking marker. Similar to the previous corner, we're not going to try and do 100% braking. We may do a little bit if we just want to slow the car down that little bit more. However, trail braking is best thing to do here. Let's see what I do there. Trail braking, staying around 50% there. We release the brakes, and just before we get to the curb there, we accelerate through the corner. Head over towards the left-hand side. Now, as always with this corner, I say it every single time at Fuji, there are many lines to take here. A middle-of-the-road approach is very nice here in Group 4, just because they're a bit slower. You can go for a tight line, but you do want to get a run off the corner in terms of speed. So the end of the orange painted barrier is your brake marker. I just highlighted that in the previous shot there. And we're going to try and get the car turned in second gear. And the second we get it rotated, instantly accelerate. It'll continue to rotate itself round. Don't run too wide there. Stay on the red and white curbing. Head towards the line here. And then we get a 146.337, which was accidentally the world record at the time. I didn't even know it was. I kept on going here for a little while longer. We jump to Daily Race C then, where we are in a Lamborghini Huracan GT3 car. Yes, indeedy, and we're at Interlagos. We're doing 15 laps here with custom slipstream. Rolling start, racing hard tyres and a pit stop is required. ×2 fuel, ×4 tyre wear. And of course, you can adjust the brake balance here in Group 3. Lamborghini was looking okay. In fact, this used to be the old Bouncer Performance Circuit, for those that wondered, in GT Sport. So I expect a lot of the cars are going to be very competitive here. The track has been used 15 times. 8th overall in terms of track usage. Track car combo 7 times. It is in the top 10 used combo in terms of joint 7th. But we last used this track on the 12th of May, and we actually haven't driven Group 3 at Interlagos for quite a while here, to be honest with you, especially for a Daily Race C. The pit lane can be tricky in terms of the entrance. You'll see left and right. And because we're on racing hard tyres, the cars are a little bit slippy as well, especially if you're on a front-engined rear-wheel drive car. Without further ado then, let's jump into this race and let's have a look at some of the strategy, some of the racing, and some of the fun that actually happens here. Here we are then at the start of the final race. Hoggy in pole there in the McLaren 650S. We're started down in P14 in that Lamborghini Huracan that I've already discussed. And if you are enjoying this video, remember to give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content here as we head towards turn 1. Ugandan there, weaving to warm up the tyres. I'm not going to do that, to be honest. It doesn't really do too much in the grand scheme of it. However, maybe I should do a proper test, you know, and see how much it does heat it up. I'm very much guessing not even a degree, but even so, we'll carry on through this left-hander and we'll get on with the racing here. We'll actually fast forward this little bit because rolling start has just increased that gap. We just want to close it down and actually have some racing. Up ahead, they are having some racing now through here. A little bit of contact there. Oh, we've got somebody off on the left-hand side. Not sure who that is. Where Sonic was a little bit off. We've got Yill off as well. I'll say off, going slow through that left-hander. And we're up into P11 then. So we do benefit from all of that action then as we go into that right-hander. We were a bit cheeky there, getting on the inside of both of them. But hey, it works, it works. So as we go to the nearly into the back of Ugandan, I'm going to try and get cheeky once again, round the outside, in towards the inside. No, Ugandan maintains good speed there as we continue on through. I looked in the rear view there, and it looked like that new Lamborghini that's just come out. What's it called? The Futuricino or something? I can't remember. Anyway, through this right we go, the Fantasimo. I have no idea. Anyway, let's continue on here through this left-hander. It's a lovely looking Lambo, the latest one. Anyway, I'm going to head towards the final corner here at Interlagos. Let's count the kink up the hill. So in towards the left we go. Belt it out of here and the racing just chills out a little bit. So we'll fast forward towards turn 1. I think Marisonic had a penalty there because he's disappeared completely from my rear view mirror there. On the left hand side we've got our first pitter here, Sparks Fury. So strategy this race, because you have to pit, you do have to obviously go in the pits at some point. Now, it's whether you change tyres or not. Now, part of you, or part of your mindset might be, okay, I want to get out of traffic. I'm not going to change tyres and try and maximise it. Some of you may go later on into the race and go, do you know what? I want to maximize tyre usage here, really go hard and really use those tyres. So you may then go towards the middle of the race. There's some real nice strategy here. Ugandan there's just going into the back of James there, in towards the left-hander. So we're going to get that position. Of course, Ugandan backside of that because it was their mistake. So fair play, good sportsmanship here as we head towards this right-hander. And I was thinking about strategy throughout this race, okay? Even on this lap, I'm thinking, do I pit? Do I not pit? And get past James here, then the Greek has a penalty as well. Maybe that will help my strategy. So we're on the start-finish straight right now. I can see the Greek driver is over towards the left-hand side, okay? So that tells me they're going in the pits. There they go. So it's time for me to now carry on with this race from this point in time and see what we can do. Lap number 4, we're still behind James right now. We've been struggling to find a good overtaking spot on James. James is just holding their own there as well up ahead. So I'm not really getting close enough to send it down the inside or anything like that as we approach the final corner. As we go through here, though, I did notice they hit the brakes a little bit late there. And I was like, okay, well, this is going to decide my strategy right now because if I'm close enough, I'm going to go for the move. If I'm not close enough, I'm going to go into the pits. So this defines my strategy here and now, this part of the race. I'm going to go for it. And the gap has just been left open here on the inside of James. So I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm going for it. We've got somebody else in the pits there, Xana. So they're obviously not going to change their tyres. So they might do, actually, because there is worthwhile changing tyres on lap 4 and then having fresh tyres to the end. There is some part of that. But we did get through on James there. We did stop it on the corner there. So we are up into P6, but it could be anywhere at the moment with all the strategies going on here. That's a bit further on in the same lap. Ryoki there clips the curve on the left-hand side and goes for a spin in there in the BRZ as we go into the final corner. I'm going to accelerate through. Look, I've got a well-serious face on me there at the moment, haven't I? My word. I was enjoying this race, though. So lap number 8 is when I decided to come in the pits. This lap number 8, I decided to change tyres. Not necessarily do I need to, but I decide I'm going to do it. Consta's in the Vantage, which I didn't realise at the time. And we've also got Ugandan Commando, who was just behind me there in the Lamborghini. As we come out the pits, Ugandan is ahead of me. So here we've got a competition now, basically. We've got Ugandan who didn't change tyres, and myself who did change tyres. The compromise here is about 3 seconds in terms of the pits. And what that means is, there's more chance of me getting stuck in traffic. So there's Xana going by now. Ugandan's ahead of them. We've got Marisonic going by. Ugandan's ahead of them. So 2 cars separate me and Ugandan right now. So Ugandan arguably may have made the right strategy call here by not changing tyres, but we'll see where we go in this race because obviously the Lamborghini can get a bit sketchy as the tyre wear goes down. So through the right we go here. The Marisonic, loses the rear end a little bit there through the center S. Does manage to catch it though. Well played to Mario Sonic. However, you may have noticed they did go on the inside of the curve there, which is a 0.5 second penalty. So we're going to get on the inside of Mario Sonic right now then. So we're going to head towards this left-hander. A bit of contact there, nothing major as we go through here then. And we are up into P8. Xana up ahead, the Italian driver. Ran a bit wide there, went on the slippy stuff. Did catch it though as we advance further on here into the braking zone we go. We have caught up to the next Lamborghini. This is a difference between fresh tyres and old tyres right now. You're seeing it right here as we continue on through. And we can see Ugandan in the distance. So very much got 4 laps here where we can really catch up to Ugandan and go for that move and potentially show that this strategy is the better strategy. Gonna head towards left-hander though here. We've got the run on the Italian driver, hard on the brakes, down the inside. Oh, a little bit deep, but we do catch it there as we continue on through. So 2.5 seconds now. The gap has come down a little bit already. However, Kaz has a penalty. Ugandan's got past. So now we've got another car in between me and Ugandan right now as we go into this right-hander. Laps are obviously counting away right now. We've caught up a little bit to Shadow as well, who stayed out doing the no tyre change. I think it was about 30 seconds on the count of the pits, down to 27 right now. Just got an inside of Kaz there. Sent it down the inside on that corner. That is a good overtaking spot if you can nail it. However, Kaz has maintained a decent line there. Good defensive driving here as we head towards the next right-hander. Hard on the brakes right now as we go into here. And we're going to continue on now. Still side by side. Going into the left-hander. Going to leave some space on that left-hand side. Kaz leaving me some on the right side. This is beautiful racing right now as we head towards the final corner. Hard on the brakes. Going to give some space once again on that inside line. We've got a better run on the outside though because we've got a reduced angle of a corner. And we've got the run right now on Kaz as we head towards turn number 1. Still side by side here. That's half a lap so far side by side as we go in towards turn 1. We are still side by side. I mean, this is beautiful racing. I love showing stuff like this. It shows you can go side by side. There are people out there that you can race. And Kaz here is showing it beautifully. Here. It's beautiful. Oh, I'm smiling. I don't care about winning. This is great fun. This really is great fun. Of course, I do want to progress and maybe see if I can get the win. However, at the moment, that win's not on the cards anymore because this has cost me a second. However, it's also giving me a lot of fun. It cost me a second for a lot of fun. I'll take that. It's good fun. Kaz eventually does get it done. I went a little bit too wide there on the left-hander. And you see Kaz using the old indicators there to say, yeah, well played. Right, the hazards. That's the word I was looking for. Charles in the pits now, taking that final pit stop. We're going to head towards turn 1. Got to run once again on Kaz. Going to send it round the outside here at turn number 1. Can we get it stopped is the question. Once again, a little bit deep here. Kaz nails it beautifully. Going to defend that position once again then as we continue on through this left-hander. And we're going to carry on onto this mini straight then. So a bit further on in the lap, I'm thinking, where can I go for this? Move on, Kaz. This is good. You know what? This is an awesome battle, but I want to get past now. I want to get this position. It's been a good fight, but let's do it. So Kaz defends that very nicely. Just got a bit too much obviously there. Too much curb being used then as I went through that right-hander. We continue on out of this corner. Going to head up towards the sharp right-hander. Now, this is also a good place to overtake, but very hard to get the car stopped if you do go for it. A little bit of a gap opened up there on the inside. I put my car into that gap. It's going to be outside for this left-hander though. As we continue on through here then, and you can go for a move into the last corner, but arguably then you're on the weaker foot. However, Kaz just outbrakes himself a little bit here. A little bit of oversteer then, and I just get alongside them just there. I mean, arguably Kaz was a bit cautious about ping distance there, for sure, but I managed to get on the inside. Now, Kaz is in the slipstream here as we head towards the line. I am not giving up on this inside line at all. You've got to go around the outside to get past me here, but we're in P6. What a beautiful race that was with Kaz. Awesome stuff. Big shout out to you, mate. And I come home in P6. So Ugandan there finishes 5 seconds up the road because of the fighting, but it shows you strategy really counts here, because if everybody does my strategy, yes, doing the no tyre change works. If everybody does the no tyre works, maybe changing tyres will work because everyone else will be on worn tyres and struggling. Who knows? Here's a lap guide then, brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out in the description and in the pinned comment down below. It's very well worth checking out, and I've got a video coming on it very soon. Top right hand side there, we've got some stairs. Okay, this is your brake marker for turn 1. Now, in the race, on the left hand side, there are 2 red canopies for the pit stops. Use the second one. It's in the same place as this stairwell. That's what I use as a brake marker for turn 1. Some of you will hate that brake marker. I use it all the time, and look, it works perfectly. Down to first gear, accelerate a little bit, up to second gear, lift off a little bit through that center there, then full throttle for the rest of it. If you go full throttle through the right-hander, you're going to spear off the circuit, so a slight lift is very beneficial. The very, very top guys that will be able to do it flat, but trust me, just lift a little bit, it'll save you a lot of heartache. Right, this left-hander here, we're past the 100 board right now. A mini escape road on the right-hand side. Lovely little brake marker this, okay, for this left-hander. You're going to brake just before you get to it. You can see I've just got on the brakes right now here in the Lamborghini Huracan, okay. I'm going to brake in a straight line. Turn later than you expect, okay. Keep towards the outside, turn in a bit later, and then you should get a better angle. Very easy to turn in too early and end up on the slippy stuff on the outside there, and that happens a lot. Even on fast laps, it happens a lot. We're going to accelerate up here then, and what we're looking for is on the left-hand side, okay? We have a marshal box there. Very easy brake marker for this corner. However, this corner is a double apex corner, so you're going to hit the first one, go out a little bit, and then come back in. Now, you may want to drop to second gear. Third gear for me is better in the Lamborghini. Second gear will give it more rotation, which you might want. But drop to third gear here. As you come in, you want to clip the inside. You go out a little bit. Notice that I'm waiting for the car to rotate. It does. I can clip the second one, okay. We then have the McDonald tyre marks that I always use here at Interlagos. So brake just before you get to these, okay? Now, in the Lamborghini, because it's a bit of a sketchy car, you need to make sure you're in a straight line when you hit the brakes. You'll still turn in, the rear will go on you, and then you'll have to either overlap or control the braking. So we hit the brakes here, drop to first gear, use all the curb on the inside, accelerate a little bit here, and then to start the curb on the left is on next, either lift off or brake marker, depending on your car here, okay? So in the Lamborghini, it's a dab of the brakes and lift and let the car rotate a little bit. In other cars, you will have to hit the brakes a little bit harder, but just to get that little bit of rotation. So let's see what I do right now. There's a little bit of braking. And then what we're looking for here is that dark green stuff. That's our accelerating marker. Now, I've not given too many of these this week. This is a perfect one, okay? Because you can't see the exit right now. So you're judging everything based on distance and surroundings. That is an accelerating marker. Use that to your advantage, okay? You see that, you hit your foot to the floor. Not 100%. You're just trying to get around the corner as quick as you can. Don't use that much track because that is very deadly and I don't know how I survived it. We're going to head towards this next corner then. On the left-hand side, you've got the green stuff. On the right side, you've got to start the curb. 2 brake markers. I want you to brake in a straight line and then lift off the brakes to turn into the corner. Let's have a look how I do that into this corner. So hard on the brakes now, lift off, and notice how the car wants to rotate. Clip the curb and instantly get on the throttle. Be aggressive on the exit there. Very worthwhile doing. Slight lift through this left-hander. You can do it flat if you get the line right, but just be careful there. On this final corner then, on the right-hand side, we have this catch fence. There's a cross in it there that I've highlighted right now. That is your brake marker for this final corner. Beautiful brake marker for this final corner here at Interlagos. Hit the brakes in a straight line. Now, you might want to drop to first gear to get some rotation, then go up to second gear. Some of you will just stay in second gear. I stay in second gear this time, but arguably it is fastest to drop to first gear. This was a very early lap on the day. I've not improved it because it's very competitive on the leaderboard. And I wanted to keep a ghost on there. So 132.581 there. And you can follow that ghost if you go and look for the lap time on the leaderboard. That's it for lap guides. Let's jump into some bloopers. So we're on board Huggy here, where we're a million wide in terms of cars here. I'm on the inside there. So this is just looking at Huggy's small error, just a front-wheel drive car. Watch the understeer in a second. Third gear, tiny bit of understeer. Huggy realizes immediately and then wakes up there. So it's just a mistake. Huggy wakes up. It's all good. It happens in racing, guys. If you have it happen to you, just take it as a mistake and move on. If someone's doing it purposefully in the many cars, then you'll see that. Mario Sonic here doesn't need another car to do it because he does it himself. Oh dear, GTI club as well. No wonder it crashed in the Focus. It's not a GTI, is it? Right, here we go with Ugandan. So I got told about this by Shadow. This apparently is a funny blooper. So as we go into this right-hander then, and Ugandan's in the right. Oh, Ugandan got track limit penalty. Oh, Shadow hit it, but then gets a boost from it. So poor Ugandan there. Gets a penalty, and it gets literally slowed down. Right, we've got board max power here for daily race B then, and we've got sparks in the flake machine there. So we're going to go towards the inside here in the Porsche. The beat out of there. Lovely stuff. Good move there by Max Power. We're going to head in towards this right-hander then. And Max Power, gets a tap on the rear there from Sparks. That will have been a mistake, of course. Now, it gets very bumpy on the inside, so trying to come back on the circuit. That, unfortunately, has gone very wrong there, and Max Power takes out the Belgian driver. I know Max Power was completely sorry with this, mentioned it in Discord and in the game at the time as well. And you see Max Power was the one who lost out the most there anyway, so good sportsmanship from Max Power to say sorry as well for that one, because it clearly is on Max Power. There's me diving down the inside. Is that a fair move? Yes, it is. They just turned into me a little bit there, so no harm, no foul there at all. Just I always have to double check these things sometimes. So the Italian here is going to go into the right-hander. Yeah, they just hit the brakes a bit too late. They still left me space. So, again, that's just a mistake. It is what it is. Some people will kick off about that, but I look at that and I go, yeah, it's clearly a mistake. They gave me space to continue on racing. Fair play to you. Right, so here we go with Grove Street. Grove Street Racer then. What happened to you? So, into here we go. Oh, yes. Yes, that Lamborghini was very good at the end of the braking, I found. So, you've had to take avoiding action there. And unfortunately, the Lamborghini gets very twitchy on braking and goes for a spin. Adler then. This is the final blooper of the day. Hopefully, you have enjoyed this video. As always, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. But as we go through here, it's going to clip the curb. And clipping that curb can cause rotation like that. And you head to the realm there and get reset. That's going to be it for this video, though, folks. I do hope you have enjoyed it. Do check out my partners down below, including Coach Dave Academy, that Delta app. They have supported this video, and I do appreciate their support, as well as yours. 2 more videos there to check out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.